Hey everyone, it's Chris here. So I wanted to shoot a quick tutorial for this tab menu extras, clonable, right? And before I'm gonna dive into how exactly this works, I just wanted to take one moment to explain you first and foremost why we created this solution. So a lot of times you have a design layout that looks something like this. You want to have tabs, right, that would act as Webflow tabs, and you also want to have maybe an eyebrow. You also want to have, let's say, a headline at the top, but at the same time you also want to have buttons inside every single tab link. Problem is, if you go to the Webflow and you drag and drop a tabs menu, right, you select the tabs menu here and you want to, let's say, add a heading inside this tabs menu, Webflow will tell you that non-tab link item cannot be placed in a tabs menu, right? Same goes with links and buttons. If you do select the tab link and you're trying to add, let's say, a button or just a link block, it will tell you link cannot be placed in a tab link. And that is because in HTML, one rule of accessibility is you cannot have links inside another links. But sometimes you still want to have this kind of feature. You want to have some Webflow tabs, and inside you want to have some buttons, and when you click on these buttons they go to a specific page. One example would be if you have, let's say, a SaaS website and you have 3 different features and you want each feature to go to a learn more page and at the same time maybe have a call to action. That's it. So how exactly all of these is working behind the scenes? So I'm going to open up this Webflow Clonable right here on my Webflow Designer and kind of show you the drill. So the entire solution relies on 2 small pieces of code. And if you open up the Notion page that is attached to this Clonable page, then you're going to see that the step 1 is basically add this code inside your body closing tag, and step 2, add the button fix, right? So the code, it's not that big. You can see literally just a couple of lines of codes. Same thing with the second code, it's really small. And the way it works, it literally relies on 3 custom attributes. The very first one, it's called data parent, and this is the div block where you want to add all of your additional elements. Data child is the additional element that needs to be added to the parent, and data inner link is the attribute that you add to the buttons inside tab link. So let me show exactly how all of these 3 attributes are being applied to this clonable. So first and foremost, I want this tab header, so this div block that has inside my H2 here and does have this nice eyebrow. I want this tab header to be inside my tab menu. So if I open this up, let's open up the tab menu. So I want this to be added right here. But again, if I would try and do a div block inside my tabs menu, I'm going to be getting the same issue. Non-tab link item cannot be placed in a tabs menu. So what we do here is we're going to select the tabs menu first, and then we're going to go to the settings. And then you're going to see that the tabs menu has an attribute of data parent, which tells the code that, hey, this is going to be the parent of literally any element I wanted to add inside. And you can see that the value of this data parent attribute, it's kind of like a unique ID. Okay, and the way the data parent and the data child communicate together, it's basically through a unique ID. So what I'm going to ask you to do is just remember this feature 1 ID, because you're going to see in a moment where exactly this is referenced. So how do we add this tabs header to our tabs menu? It's really simple. If you're going to select the tabs header and go to the settings, you're going to see the data child attribute, and you can see that the value of this data child attribute, so this feature 1, is the same value that we have applied to the tabs menu. It's also feature 1, and basically this is how the code knows that, hey, I need to take the child, which is feature 1, yeah, and I need to paste it inside the parent, which is also feature 1. That is basically how these 2 things communicate together. Good. So I hope this does make sense. And obviously you can have any kind of content. You can have links, you can have sliders, every single div block you can possibly think about, right? Good. Now, how exactly do we add the buttons? Well, the buttons, they're all right here. You can see that every single button group is basically inside a buttons group div block. Yeah, you can come up with your very own class because this solution relies on the data attributes. It does not rely on classes. And the reason why I have right here 3 buttons group is because I have 3 tabs. And you can see that every single button group, if we're looking over the custom attributes, does have that data child tab 1 buttons. The second one has data child tab 2 buttons. And the very last one has tab 3 buttons. So it does have a different value. Why so? Because all of these 3 boxes, buttons group, this one button group, and the very last button group, we're gonna add them inside tab link content, okay? So if we select the tab link content, you can see that it does have data parent with the same ID. Tab 1 buttons for this very first one. Then the second tab link content has tab 2 buttons. And if we're looking over right here to the buttons group, it does share the same ID. And same goes for the very last one, tab link content, with the attribute of tab 3 buttons. So basically the idea is still the same. You just need to come up with your very own ID, with your very own names here. Okay, they have to be like unique, they don't have to be repeatable, because otherwise the code will not work. But the way I do this stuff is, if I know that I have like 3 tabs right here, I'm gonna go like tab 1 buttons, tab 2 buttons, tab 3 buttons. If I have, let's say, multiple sections, let's say I have like one section here, and then maybe I do Command D and I have another section right here, then in this case what I would do is I would give this section a specific name. So let's say this is a specific feature. It's like, let's say it's AI content. Yeah, I want to have a feature about AI content. In that case, I would go with AI tab 1 buttons, AI tab 2 buttons, AI tab 3 buttons, right? So I hope this does make sense to you guys. If not, please let me know your questions down in this YouTube video, in the comments. But that is how it's working. It does rely on this unique values that you set to whether the data child or data parent. Now, finally, what I wanted to show you is how we are bypassing this thing with the links. Because, for example, if I would select right now my tab link, and if I'll try to do like a button inside, yeah, it will tell me link cannot be placed in a tab link. Okay, and to make this even simpler for you guys, this is like the simplest version of the Webflow tabs. If I would select my tab link and try to do a button inside, it will not allow me to add buttons. And again, I've explained you the reason why, being that you cannot have links inside links. That's it. So instead what we do is, let me go back. Instead what we do is every single button that we want to place inside our tab link has this data inner link attribute. That's all you have to do to add. Just add this data inner link. It does not need any value, and you add this literally to every single button here. And the reason why we do so is the code will look over the button properties and re-enable those properties. Okay, so it acts as a button. And basically that's it. If you save all of these, if you publish, and if you do reload your page, then you should be getting something like this, right? Where you have that tab header. So this thing, you have the tab header added within the tabs menu, and then you have those 3 div blocks with the button groups added to their respective tabs. So this one gets here. The second one, this one, it gets added to the second tab, and the third group of the buttons gets added to the third tab. Okay, and that is because we have this unique values for our data child and data parent attributes. So that is it. I know that might be a different approach to this, but I'm always looking for a code-based solution that relies on custom attributes. Because I do believe most of you wanted to have this kind of layout, but it was challenging because of these Webflow limitations. So being said, that was the entire tutorial, guys. I created for you like 2 different options. You're gonna see header only and header with buttons. It's up to you to decide which one you want to use, right? But if you're gonna have any questions, then the YouTube comments down below, it's your best friend. Bye-bye.